I think, for what that's worth, sometimes as we get older, we don't seek out new experiences. We get caught in a rut doing the same old thing, and that is pretty boring, and that is pretty depressing too. So maybe yoga is something totally new for you. Don't be an old fuddy-duddy. Just give it a try. Try something new, try something fresh, and I hope this yoga is just the ticket to make you feel better. It's 1 hour long. We practice every single day. Every day is different. Every practice is different. Welcome to your good enough yoga. Just do it. Just do it. This is good enough. You are good enough just as you are, but just do. Just try something new. Hi, I'm Jan. This is 316 Yoga. This is your yoga from home. That's the best part. You're doing it at home. Come on now. It's not a performing art. Yoga is a healing art, and you need to move. You need to move more. As we get older, we need to move more, not less. But just move deliberately with purpose. All right, the bottom of our screen says, do what's right for your body. Your body is different than mine. Your body is different from anybody else's. You are unique and special. And because of that, you have certain, injuries or certain ways you can bend or not bend, or, you know exactly where you are today. So honor that. Honor your body. If something is painful, don't do it. Back out of it, don't do it. Just don't do it. Don't hurt yourself more. Just do what feels good and know that it is good enough. All right, take care of you. What else can I say? Every day our practices are different. We're here. I'm here for you every single day. Come practice with me. Let me practice with you. Every practice is different. Today's is an all-seated practice. You can be seated in a chair and do this practice. Come on now. Everybody can do this. Or you can be seated on the ground. We're not going to do any balancing today. We are all down on the ground. Props, we're going to use some props. If you don't have them, that's fine. You modify and make it work for you. I've got 2 yoga blocks. We use those often. I've got a little hand towel. No big deal. You've got that as well. I'm sure you've got a hand towel, right? And an eye shade. If you don't have an eye shade, use the hand towel. You have a yoga strap also. You don't have to use the strap. You can use the hand towel and have some water nearby as well. All right, we're seated, so come on down to your bottom. I'm going to sit in a Sukhasana pose. So as we do this, I got to tell you the word. I didn't tell you the word today, right? Think about this, these 2 words. It's good enough. You are good enough right where you are. Good enough means just try. Give a little bit of effort. No big sweat, right? I mean, praise yourself for doing. Every little bit counts. Every little bit adds up. So good enough. Good enough. Come down to seated. I'm going to come to a Sukhasana pose. As I make my way there and you make your way there, maybe you're in the chair. Maybe you're already there. Think of a stress number on a scale of 1 to 5, 1 to 10. What's going on in your body? Lock in the stress number. Remember it, and come to a comfortable seated position. Like I said, maybe you're on a chair. Maybe you sit with your legs crisscrossed. Maybe you don't like that. Maybe you've got them. I don't know. There's a million ways you can have your legs. For today's Sukhasana pose, it's called an easy pose. It's not easy. What I'm going to do for Sukhasana, I'm going to bend my left knee, I'm going to bend my right knee, and I'm going to bring my right leg up on top of my left. I'm going to bring the top of my right foot up onto my inner left thigh. And I'm going to let my knees kind of melt down. All right, here's where you could use a block. You can slip a block under the top knee so your knees aren't hanging out in space. You can get comfortable here. And let me tell you, the fullest expression of this pose, I can't do, so I'm letting it go. This is good enough for me. Here's how you do it if you want to do it, if you can do it. Bring your bottom foot, bring it on up, and rest it on top of your right knee. So you'll have both feet up, soles up. All right. That's your Sukhasana pose. However you're sitting, it is totally good enough. Hands to your knees. Lengthen up through your spine. Close your eyes and take a deep breath in through your nose and a big sighing breath out through your mouth. Let it go. I think this is the hardest pose of the practice. And in this pose right here, we're trying to quiet our mind. That's hard. Quiet your mind and just enjoy your yoga. And you know what? Know, really truly know inside that you can do this. You're doing it right now. You're breathing. Yoga's about the breathing. It's about slowing down and focusing inward. Try to breathe in through your nose and sigh it out through your mouth. Sighs are really important. A sigh, an audible sigh, releases stress. Let it go. Into the nose, lengthen up through your spine. Exhale it out. All right. You've already done your first couple of yoga poses and you're doing the breathing. Turn off the distractions around you. Start to turn your head from left to right. Take it slowly and deliberately. Turn your head, and as you're turning your head, try to take it a little farther. Maybe your eyes are closed, or maybe they're open. Maybe you don't like the closed eye part. I know some of you say you get vertigo when the eyes close and you're turning your neck. If that's the case, don't do it. Breathe. And maybe as you exhale, maybe you take the twist a little deeper to the side. Inhale, find length. Exhale, turn your head from left to right. You got the little crunchies going on in the neck? As long as they don't hurt, you're okay. Head left to right, right to left. And maybe hold it a little bit in one direction. Just feel the goodness of the stretch, the depth of the stretch. Soften your shoulders. Take it to the other side, same thing. Deepen the stretch. And then bring your head back to the midline of your body. Let's do some neck circles. Just let your head float around on your shoulders. Nothing particular here. Just move your head. Maybe like drawing circles with your nose to the front of the room. Just let your head float around. Maybe send your gaze up toward the sky, then down toward your chest. Just let your neck float around. Let your head float around on your shoulders. Find movement here. How often do you deliberately do this? Not very often. But wake up the neck. Find mobility in your neck. Oh, so important. All right, finish up. Still your head at the midline of your body. Let's do extended mountain arms. Lift your arms up toward the sky. Put a bend in your elbows if that feels better. Lengthen up. Lengthen up and try to look on up to your extended fingers. There's your extended mountain pose. All right, we're going to take this mountain pose, the big reach, to a cactus. So bring your forearms, or not your forearms, your biceps and your triceps parallel to the earth. And I guess your forearms, you could say they are parallel to the sides of the room. Lengthen up through your chest. Squeeze your elbows back and the backs of your hands to the back of your room. Here's your cactus pose. There's cactus, right? You got that down. Lengthen up. And soften in the shoulders. Now take your hands. Bend your elbows more to the sides of the room, and then bring your fingers to your temples. Squeeze your elbows to the back of the room. There you go. Let's go through. Extended mountain, lengthen up, inhale. Exhale, cactus, you got this. Chest stays lifted. Then bring your fingertips to your temples and breathe. Big inhale. Big exhale. Let's do it again a few more times to your speed, your pace. Lengthen, extended mountain. Cactus, chest is lifted, fingers to the temples, squeeze, one more time, extended mountain, cactus, fingers to the temples, breathe, extended mountain, we're going to change, take your hands, think hands down, remember that game, bring your hands down in front of you, bring them toward the earth, maybe you prefer to bring them onto a block, or bring them on down to the ground. Lengthen up through your spine and then slide your fingers to the front of the room. Gaze down towards your ankles. Lengthen up and reach through your fingers. Inhale, lengthen up. Exhale, hollow out your belly, belly button to your spine. Reach your fingers a little farther, either on the block or not. Stretch it out. Slowly walk your hands back on up so you can bring your shoulders back up over your hips. Hands to your knees, tuck your chin to your chest. Think of, we do cat-cow pose some days. We're going to do a seated cat-cow here. Tuck your chin to your chest. Try to scoop your tailbone under, drawing your belly button to your spine. And send your rounded back to the back of the room. And then inhale, think cow pose. Crown of the head lifts, chin lifts to the sky, and untuck your tailbone, sending your tailbone to the back of the room. So do a couple of those like cat-cow poses, seated. Exhale, cat. Inhale, cow. Oh, exhale, cat. Inhale, cow. Chin lifts. Life is good. All right, come back to shoulders over your hips. Take a big breath in and a big breath out. Walk your hands out again. Walk your hands out. And then walk both hands, kind of like a little spider. Kind of walk your hands to the right pretty far. Take your left hand, place it on top of your right hand, and just hang out here for a little bit. Breathe. Maybe you interlace your fingers if you like that, or just place the hands on top of each other. Keep both bottom cheeks down as you do this little lateral sideways movement of your spine. Big stretch up and down the left side. Soften in the shoulders, soften in the jaws. And then spider walk your fingers back to the midline of your body. Inhale, spine gets long. Exhale, fingers maybe walk a little farther to the top of your mat. Then spider walk them to the left. Maybe you keep the hands next to each other. Maybe you take the right hand on top of the left this time. Maybe you interlace the fingers or not. So many options. Both bottom cheeks stay down. Feel the nice stretch in your ribs. Fingers, spider walk, back to the midline and just reach. Inhale. Exhale, sigh it out. Let your belly button go to your spine. And then slowly on your next inhale, walk your hands back in. Lengthen up through your fingers. Think extended mountain. Oh, take it all in. And then exhale, bring your hands to prayer center. Then bring your hands onto your heart, one hand on top of the other. Just take a deep breath in. And a shoulder softening breath out. Take a moment and feel your heartbeat. How often do you ever do that, right? Just breathe. Breathe in, breathe out. Release your hands from your heart. Place one hand down on the ground. Lift the opposite arm up to the sky. Press into the earth, lengthen through the other fingers, and then let the fingers that are reaching to the sky reach to the opposite side of your body. Reach to the wall at the opposite side of your room. Keep both bottom cheeks down. And use this arm, that's the foundational arm, you bend that elbow a little bit. Bend it, and then straighten it. Decide what you like as you take this stretch here. The fingers of the extended arm are really reaching to the side of the room. Now lift your chin up off of your chest, and the top shoulder, bring it more back toward the back of the room. Breathe. Play with the height of the foundational arm, bending the elbow and lifting it on up. Just kind of enjoy a little bit of movement here. Doesn't have to be big. Slowly start to straighten that foundational elbow, sending the top arm back up to the sky. Let the other arm go up to meet it, so you're back to your extended mountain arms. Lift, reach, breathe. Let's do it on the other side. Bring the other arm down. Place it down on the earth. Push into the earth. Lengthen through the opposite fingers. Gaze forward, stretch. Find length in the opposite side here. And then start to play with that elbow. That's the foundation. Bend it. Bring it on up. The extended arm. Reach it. Cross the midline of your body. Chin away from the chest. You know that. And what's next? Shoulder back. Breathe. And just play with this a little bit. Maybe you take it deeper. Maybe you bring it up a little more. Just breathe and feel the goodness of the stretch. And when you're ready, it's time to maybe, sorta, kinda start to straighten that elbow. Send the arm back up to the sky. Reach the arm on up so both arms are in your extended mountain. Now bend your elbows to the side wall. Fingers, interlace them. Send your interlaced fingers to the back of your skull. Drive your elbows to the back of the room. Hold on here. Breathe in, breathe out. Maybe the eyes are closed as you're finding mobility in your shoulders and your upper back. All right, if you can't quite interlace the fingers, just bring your fingers to your temples. That's okay. It's all good. We're getting there. Breathe in, breathe out. All right, release your hands down to your knees. Find your towel or your strap or nothing at all. See, there's always a way to do it. I'm going to take the towel. I'm going to floss my shoulders. We've talked about that before. I'm going to place the towel on my right hand or the strap. Bring the right bicep up near the right ear. Hug the elbow in. Take the other arm, reach around, capture your strap, your towel, or nothing at all. If you're using nothing at all, just give yourself a pat on the back with your right hand. I'm going to start moving this towel just a little bit up and down as I think of, like floss, flush your teeth. Think of flossing your shoulders. Breathe. A little bit of movement. It's all good. Let's finish. Bring your towel and your hands around. Switch it out. Towel in the other hand. Hug the bicep in to the opposite ear. Other hand comes around, down by your waist, finds that towel, and you floss. Breathe. Breathe. And as you're ready, are you ready? Are you ready to go on? All right, let's go. All right, remove that, let it be, place the towel down. Guess what? It's time to switch out our legs and do it on the other side. Oh my goodness. All right, how are your legs feeling? However you're seated, maybe you're in a thunderbolt pose. That's when you're standing on your knees and you send your hips back to your heels. That's fine too. Switch your legs out however you have them. I was in Sukhasana, so I'm going to switch them out, bringing my right leg on the bottom and my left leg on top. Adjust, use a block if you want. Get comfortable here. So get your mind out of your hips. That's what we're doing with a lot of the shoulder work. So big opener of the hips. You just want to try. You just want to try. And whatever you're doing is good enough. Good enough. It's good enough. All right. Hands onto your knees. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath in. And a deep breath out. Requiet your mind. Breathe in through the nose. And sighing breaths out through your mouth. Keep the sighs going. We're going to come into your Ujjayi Pranayama breath in a little bit when we get into child's pose. We're just going to hang out here for a little bit. Breathe in, breathe out. Just know you can do this. You're doing it right now. Breathe in, breathe out, and your neck. Start to turn it again from left to right. Maybe, you got to notice what's going on. Maybe you're noticing that maybe the crunchies are gone in the neck. Maybe you feel that you can turn your neck a little more freely with less discomfort. Maybe even you can turn your neck a little farther. So let's try that. Take your left hand, lift it up to 2 peace fingers. When you turn your head to the left, take your left fingers and place them on the outside of your right jawbone. Breathe. Hold this turn here. Soft shoulders. Your 2 peace fingers are just encouraging the jaw to move a little bit more. Breathe in, breathe out. Slowly remove the fingers, place them back on your knee, and slowly, slowly bring your head back to the midline of your body. Inhale, lengthen up. Exhale, let it go. Turn your head to the right. Take your right hand, the 2 peace fingers, and place it on the outside of your left jaw. Soften in your shoulders. Encourage the head to turn a little bit more. Inhale, exhale. Exhales, let your shoulders soften. No tension there. Shoulders are releasing, softening to the earth. Same with your hips. Think of your left hip getting closer to the earth as it opens up. Slowly bring your right hand down to your right knee. Slowly bring your head back to the midline. Slowly. That's the ticket. Lengthen up through your crown of the head. Exhale, soften up. Chin to your chest. Hold it here for a few seconds. Shoulders are down and back. Inhale, lift your head up, lift your chin up to the sky. Do a couple of these. Chin to chest, chin to sky. Chin to chest, chin to sky. Head back to the midline of your body. Now it's the free-for-all. Just let your head float around on your shoulders. Maybe you do circles. Maybe you just lengthen up to the crown of your head. Just move your neck. Appreciating the mobility of it. Oh my gosh, how often in the day do we need to turn our necks? Are we turning them far enough? Can we see what we need to see? Breathe. Take in that full range of motion that you have in your neck. No rush, no hurry. Your hips are enjoying this time. Breathe. And as you're ready, finish up. Bring your head back to the midline of your body. Lengthen up through the crown of your head and soften up in your shoulders. Lift your arms up. Remember this little sequence, extended mountain arms. Reach through your fingertips. Now cactus out your arms, driving the backs of your hands to the back of the room. Feel your chest lift. There's your cactusing of the arms. Breathe in, breathe out. Elbows to the sides of the room as you bend your arms even more, bringing your fingertips or your knuckles to your temples. Breathe. Inhale, extended mountain arms. Exhale, cactus arms. Hands to your temples. Inhale, extended mountain. Cactus arms. Fingers to your temples. Do it again. Extended mountain. Cactus. Temples. Release the hands down. Take a deep breath in. And a softening breath out. Time to reach your arms forward. Walk your hands far, far forward. Walk them forward. Breathe here. Tuck your chin to your chest. Look back toward your belly. Hollow out your belly. Reach your fingers a little farther. Slowly roll your spine up one vertebra at a time. Bring your chin away from your chest. Last, extended mountain arms. Lengthen up. Exhale, soften up. Cat-cow-like pose. Chin to your chest, tailbone under. Send your back to the back of the room. Inhale, cow. Chin lifts toward the sky, and your tailbone goes to the back of the room. Tuck your tailbone under as you exhale. Tuck your chin in toward your chest. Round your back to the back of the room. Inhale, cow. We do cat-cow a lot on all fours, so just think about it. Think about doing the same thing here in this seated position. And then finish up with your cat-cow. Lengthen up through the crown of your head. Lengthen your arms up to the sky. Let's do that spider walk with the fingers. Exhale, arms down, arms reach to the top of your mat. You're gazing down at your ankles. Spider walk your fingers to the right side of your room. Place your left hand on top of your right. Big stretch here. Maybe you like to interlace the fingers. Keep your bottom cheeks equally down on your mat. Breathe. Exhale slowly. Exhale slowly. Exhale. Bring your navel to your spine. Walk your fingers back to the midline of your body. Lengthen up through your spine. Take a little break here. Exhale. Spider walk your fingers to the opposite side of your mat. Hand on top, right hand on top of left. Interlaced fingers if you want. Stretch. Spider walk your fingers back to the midline. Reach through your fingertips even more. Slowly let your spine roll on back up, bringing your shoulders over your hips. How are you doing? Bring your arms on up high to the sky. Lengthen up. Find length through your arms, through your fingers. Remember, the bend in the elbows is fine. Reach. Hands to prayer center. Hands to your heart. Find your heartbeat again. Soft shoulders, heartbeat. Breathe in, breathe out. You got it. All right, plant one hand on the ground to your side. Lift the other arm high to the sky. Find length in that extended arm. Let that extended arm cross the midline of your body and start to bend the foundational elbow. Remember the 2 points, shoulders back, chin away from the chest. Take this stretch to the side of your room to what feels good for you. Reach through your fingers. No rush, no hurry. Play with that foundational elbow. You know, allowing you to stretch more, then come out of it. Then stretch it back, maybe a little more even, and come out of it. Find length in your side body. And then finish up. Slowly bring both arms back up to the sky. Stretch it out, even it out. Exhale, release the other arm down to the ground. Find the little bit of play in that foundational elbow. Reach through the fingers of the opposite arm and let it cross your midline. Chin, shoulder, you know where they go. And just play with the depth here. And if your jaws are tight and clenched, soften them up. Breathe. Space. That's what you want to think. Space. Finding space in your hips, space between your ribs and those intercostal muscles. Reach through your fingers. Find the depth of the space there. Breathe. And then slowly bring it back up to the midline. Just wouldn't feel right to rush it. Send both arms up high to the sky. Lengthen up. Interlace your fingers. Bend your elbows to the sides. Head is cradled in your interlaced fingers and hands. Drive the elbows to the back of the room. Breathe. Breathe in, breathe out. Cow face time. Release your hands. Let your neck float around a little bit while you find the towel. Just move your neck a little bit this way and that. Let it feel good. Same thing, cow face. Towel in one hand. Hug that bicep in towards your ear. Other hand reaches around. You're going to floss your shoulders. Move the towel up and down. Really pull it down toward the ground. And move it a couple inches up and down. And then release it. Towel comes into the other hand. Bring that hand up to the sky. Other hand goes around down by your waist. Floss your shoulders. Really good for your posture today. Really nice on the upper back. Breathe. All right, finish up. Release the towel. Big stretch in the hips today. Oh my goodness. Hopefully your mind was off of it because of all the things we did with the shoulders. But just sit here for a moment, just a little bit longer. Shoulders are over your hips. Just feel how you feel in your upper back, your shoulders, and your neck. Move your shoulders, move your neck. Just see how you feel. I bet it's a lot better. All right, start to unwind your legs, however you have them. Oh my goodness, this is a tough one to come out of, isn't it? All right, so come out of this pose and let's go into an extended child's pose. And we're going to focus on our breath here. So come to your knees, spread your knees wide, hips back to your heels, and I think you might be able to take your 2 blocks to the top of your mat and really get into the shoulders here. And if you don't, if you just aren't feeling it in the shoulders, that's fine too. Knees are spread wide. Let your belly come between your thighs. Sink your head down toward your mat. If you want, you could place a block underneath your head to bring the ground up to you. And then reach your arms long to the top of your mat. We did a lot with the shoulders, so maybe this is more doable today. Your blocks are here. Maybe you can even lift your hands up onto these blocks. And if you try this and don't like it, you know what to do. Peel the layers back. If you don't like your hands on the blocks, bring your hands back down to the mat. All right, so this is an extended child's pose with your arms elevated. Send your tailbone more to the back of your room and the crown of your head to the front. Big breath in, big sighing breath out, let it go. Think of your spine as long. Think of the crown of the head going even more to the top of your mat. Close your lips if you like and breathe in and out of your nose. Lips are closed. Your focus is on your breath. Just get into the breath and get out of your head. One of my favorite things to say is, how far could your body go if your mind wasn't in the way? Breathe in, breathe out. Child's pose. Your hips are enjoying this too after that intense, long Sukhasana pose. Come back to this child's pose anytime you like, or maybe it's really speaking to you today. And if that's the case, stay right where you are. I'm going to come out of this extended child's pose, and maybe you are too. If you would like, let's come into a cat-cow here. We did cat-cow in a seated way. Let's do cat-cow from a neutral tabletop. Knees under your hips, shoulders over your wrists, lengthen through your spine, push your hands into the mat and push the tops of your feet into your mat. Almost feel like you're levitating a little bit. Tailbone and crown of the head are pulling in opposite directions. Exhale, tuck your chin to your chest and tuck your tailbone under. Arch your back up to the sky like a Halloween cat. Inhale, cow pose, crown of your head and tailbone lift. Do a few of these to your pace of breath. Exhale, cat. Inhale, cow. Do maybe 5 of these on your own. All right, and as you're ready, finish up if you'd like. Lengthen up through the crown of your head. Now let's drop down to our forearms. Dropping down to your forearms, maybe send your fingers a little more to the top of the mat. Adjust your hips however you like. Knees forward, knees back, knees more spread, whatever. Imagine your chest melting down to your mat. Maybe slide your arms more forward, forearms pressed into the mat. Maybe a block is under your chest or your chin. You want to slip your chest down and let your tailbone be high to the sky for your puppy pose. Move your bottom a little bit. You got mobility in your tailbone, move it. Relax in your shoulders, letting your chin or your chest come down to your mat. Couple breaths here. And then let's finish. All right, come out of your puppy pose. How was that? Let's come into a toes pose. Tuck your toes towards your shins. Bring your blocks by your sides. Blocks are at a high height by your sides. Come have a seat on your heels. Lengthen up through the crown of your head and rest into your feet. Let's move the blocks a little forward. Hinge your weight forward. Come onto the tops of your feet. Using the blocks, press into them and pop on up to the tops of your feet so you're balancing on the tops of your feet, knees together. Let's flow through it. Blocks come forward, toes tuck under, bottom sits on the heels. Blocks go forward, tops of the feet on your mat. Knees lift up and breathe. You're balancing on the tops of your feet. So just your ankles. That's where we're getting the range of motion here. Nice big stretch in the toes pose. Nice big stretch in the ankle pose. And then let's finish. That is an intense pose. All right, let's sit in a thunderbolt now. Thunderbolt is sitting back on your heels. Tops of your feet are on your mat. Tee out your arms. Let's just do some little arm circles here. Reaching through your middle finger towards the side of the room. Chest is lifted, little teeny circles, maybe take them bigger. Nice tight upper back, nice strong, good posture, nice strengthening of the upper back. Circle your arms in the opposite direction. Gaze is forward, just breathe. All right, we do a pose oftentimes in our standing practice called You Will Look Taller. We bring our body into the shape of the first letter of each of those words. We're going to do it today with just our arms. We did a lot of cactusing, remember that? In our Sukhasana pose, cactusing the arms and extended mountain. We're getting back into the shoulders again. Let's bring our arms into the shape of a letter Y. Press the backs of your hands to the back of the room. Lengthen up through the crown of your head. There's the letter Y for the word You. Spread your fingers wide. Press the backs of your hands to the back wall. And then when you're ready, take an exhale, bring your elbows down and create a big W in your arms. Squeeze, imagining through the midline of your back. Now let's do 2 L's, a forward and backward L. Hug your elbows in as best you can. Hug them in, chest is lifted. There's 2 L's for the word look. 1 giant T for the word taller. Pulse your hands to the back wall. Breathe. Let's do it again. Big letter Y, You. Will, keep your fingers spread good and wide. 2 L's, look. T and pulse, taller. You got it. Give yourself a big hug. Right arm on top of left, elbows stack or maybe even cross the midline of your body. Reach your fingers towards your spine. Squeeze tightly and then let your shoulders go to the side of the room. The sides of the room. Remember which arm is on top. Now tee out your arms again. Tee them out. Squeeze the backs of the hands to the back of the room. Big hug again with the other arm on top. Fingers toward the spine. Nice tight squeeze. Soften in your shoulders and drive your shoulders to the outside of the room so that hug feels really, really good and tight. Breathe in and breathe out. Let it go. All right, arms down to your thighs. Take a big breath in and a big breath out. One of the things we do in most of our practices is a plank pose. We set a timer with our plank. We set a 1-minute timer. It's just for you to measure your progress if you want. All right, you can do a plank. First one I'm going to show you, if you're new to planking, is to come down onto your back. Come down onto your back, and if you have blocks, take the blocks in your hands, send the blocks up to the sky, bring your shoulders back down and hold it here. So you know what a plank looks like. Imagine that you are in a plank. You're just inverted. You can do that plank. Other variations of plank. If you've mastered that one and want to do another variation, remember neutral tabletop? You can come back to that. Walk your hands more forward. Walk your knees a little apart. Send the weight into your arms and hold it here. Totally fine. You could drop down to your forearms. Arms are parallel to the sides of your mat. Knees go back a little bit. Hinge your weight forward. Elbows under your shoulders and hold it here. You could draw your toes towards your shins and pop on up to a dolphin plank and hold it here. You can take a high plank, and that's what I'm going to do. So get into the variation of plank that you like. The timer is just for your own measurement if you want. All right, for a high plank, what I'm going to do is send my legs long and my wrists underneath my shoulders. Let's set a timer now for 1 minute. All right, here we go. Feet are hip-width distance apart. Hands are spread wide, and I'm going to kind of suction my fingers into the mat like a gecko. I'm going to press my thumb and my pointer finger into the mat a little bit more. Lengthen through the crown of your head. We are 45 Oh, no, we're not. We're 15 seconds in. All right, 45 would be good, wouldn't it? Press into your hands, lengthen through your spine. Take the variation of plank that engages your core and feels right for you today. There are breaks you can take. We're halfway there, 30 seconds. If you're in a high plank, you can send your hips high to a down dog and take a breath or two. If you're in a high plank, you could drop to your knees and take a breath or two there. You decide what works for you. We got 15 seconds to go. Press the earth away. Stay strong. A core engages everything you've got. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and done. You did it. Come down. Have a seat. Have a drink if that strikes your fancy. All right, so you can do a plank. Anybody can do a plank. Take the variation that works for you. And the timer, totally up to you. If you want to measure or not, go for it. All right, drink. Let's come into pentacle pose. Come down to fully reclined. In your pentacle pose, legs are spread wide, arms are high overhead. Breathe. Okay, shoulders. We did a lot with shoulders today. A lot of times, some of you say that pentacle doesn't feel real good in your shoulders. Does it feel better now with all the shoulder work we did? If it still doesn't feel so good, you don't have to stay here. Backs of your hands on your mat, or if you have 2 blocks, you could put your hands on the blocks. That's a little less intense. Or think snow angel. Bring your arms down a little bit by your side. Think of how a snow angel is, right? And bring your arms down to what feels good for you. Take a big breath in and a big breath out. Let it go. All right, bend your knees now. Bend your knees if you like. And think bridge pose. Arms down by your sides now, palms face down. Lift your hips on up to the sky and take your bridge pose. Hold it here, push hard into your feet, and then release. Let your spine come down 1 vertebra at a time. All right, heels behind your bottom. Let's take our arms and lift your arms on up to the sky, and breathe. tee out your arms, bring them down. Inhale, arms go back up. Exhale, tee them out. Let's add in the hips. Arms go up, hips go up. Keep your hips up. Arms tee out. Arms go up. Keep your hips up. Arms come down. Lift arms up. Arms tee out. Now let's let the hips have a break. Arms go up, hips are up. Exhale, roll your spine down, arms tee out. Arms go up, hips go up. Arms tee out as your spine and hips come down. Hips go up, arms go up. Breathe and open up. Hips come down, arms come out. Let's do it again. Lift your hips and arms go up, but this time we're going to change it up just a second. Lift your arms higher, lift your hips higher. Let your arms cross the midline of your body. Give yourself a big hug here. Big hug, maybe fingers work toward the earth. Arms go back up. Big hug with the other arm on top. Keep your hips up. Arms go up. Big hug with opposite arm on top. Arms go up. Big hug with opposite arm on top. Lift back up in the arms, lift back up and strengthen in the hips. Hold them here. Tee out your arms, nice and wide, palms face up. Let's march in the hips. One knee up and the other knee up. Then just march, march, march. And breathe. All right, let's finish up. Both feet on your mat. Lift your hips good and high and breathe. Push into your feet. Arms down by your sides. Maybe interlace your fingers. Press your pinkies into your mat. Breathe. Release your arms by your sides. Roll your spine down one vertebra at a time. Tuck your belly button to your spine. And once your back comes all the way down, take a big breath. Pentacle pose. Legs long. Arms high overhead. Think of your body as a big capital letter X. Breathe. Big breath in. Big breath out. Are your 2 blocks handy? 1 would work, but 2 is even better. Bring your feet back to that starting bridge position. Press the weight into your feet and slip the 2 blocks at their stable height side by side. You're just creating a big surface. Place them side by side and bring your bottom down onto the blocks. Adjust the blocks so you can let all the weight on your bottom rest on the blocks. Extend your legs long and straight into a pontoon pose. Nice big stretch in the front of your hips. Arms down by your sides and breathe here. Breathe in, belly goes up to the sky. Breathe out, your belly goes back. Navel goes back to touch your spine. There's your pontoon pose. Stay here if you want. Bend your knees if you want. Hips go back up to the sky. Bridge pose again. And remove your blocks. Roll your spine down. And come up to seated. Use your hands or not. Take your towel or your strap and bring it on up overhead like extended mountain arms. Toes are up toward the sky. Exhale, hinge forward. Capture underneath your feet with your towel or your blocks. Lengthen up through the crown of your head and pull on your towel. Think of pulling your chest forward to the front of the room as your gaze is forward too. Elbows hugged in toward your knees. Breathe here. Now start with your gaze. Send your gaze to your knees and then fold forward like in half, like a paper clip. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Release. Release the towel. Find your 2 blocks. Wide-legged forward fold. Spread your legs good and wide. Bring your blocks between your legs at whatever height suits you. Bring your forearms down to your blocks, or maybe bring your forehead down to your blocks. Toes up toward the sky. Little bend in your knees might feel great. Breathe in, breathe out. Adjust the height of your blocks however you like to deepen the stretch, if you like. Maybe not today, maybe tomorrow, but just keep at it today so you can get to where you want to be tomorrow. All right, so that's that with those blocks. Bring your shoulders up over your hips. Bring your eye shade and your towel up near your shoulders so you don't have to come back up again. All right, so bend your knees, soles of your feet on your mat, hands to prayer center, lengthen up slowly with control, start to recline and hold it here. Breathe in, breathe out. Slowly recline a little bit more, breathe in, breathe out, and work your way all the way down with control. Your knees are bent, think bridge pose, but don't do bridge pose unless you want to do bridge pose. Knees are bent. Let's do windshield wipering of the legs. Let both knees fall to one side, then both knees fall to the other side. Tee out your arms and let the knees fall from one side to the other as you windshield wiper. As the knees fall to one side, maybe your gaze is going in the opposite direction. Think of this as being a little skull massage, as well as a nice twist. Breathe. All right, let's finish up by bringing the knees back up toward the sky. Arms can stay teed out. Now your feet. Toe, heel your feet to the edges of your mat. Then let your knees fall, let's say to the right side. So just a little different than your windshield wipering. I think this is a little more intense, don't you? And your gaze can be up to the sky, or you can turn your head to the left. Breathe. We're going to intensify this even more if you want. So your knees are both falling to the right. Your gaze is to the left. I'm going to pick up my right leg and I'm going to take the outside of my right ankle and place it on top of my left leg. I'm going to encourage that left knee down a little bit more. Breathe. And then when you're ready, you can take that ankle off of the knee. Send the knees up to the sky and send your gaze up there too. And we got another fun side to do. Let both knees fall to the left. Maybe that's enough because that's pretty intense. Add in the gaze to the right if that feels good. You can stay right here and just breathe through it and maybe close your eyes and feel what you feel. To intensify it even more, with the knees going to the left, lift the left leg up. Outside of the left ankle comes on top of the right knee, and you encourage it down. It's kind of similar to when we did the peace sign, and we turned our neck and encouraged our neck to turn a little bit more with the aid of the peace fingers on the opposite jaw. Very similar, right? Breathe in, breathe out. And I think you'll find when you take the big, big exhales, the stretch intensifies. It deepens. Breathe. And when you're ready, let's finish. Release the ankle from that knee. Slowly bring both knees up as you inhale, up to the sky. Head back to the midline as well. Toe, heel your feet in a little bit more. Let's do happy baby. Your teed out arms, bring them down to each respective knee. Left hand hugs left knee, right hand hugs right knee. You can rock from side to side here. And breathe. Rocking left, rocking right, feeling the low back massage. And if you have a towel that's big enough, hand towel would work. Maybe you use that under your knees. Hug them in. It kind of makes your arms a little bit longer, and then you can rock from side to side here. Maybe you prefer that. Rock from side to side. Maybe draw circles on the ceiling with your knees. And happier baby. Let's do a happier baby. Although this is feeling really good on your low back, isn't it? You can take your hands and slip them inside your calves. Maybe slip them on down to your ankles. Maybe grab your ankles and hold on tight and keep rocking. Maybe you capture your heels. Draw your toes towards your shins. Hold on to your heels. Send one leg high up to the sky. Then rebend it and send the other leg up to the sky. And rebend that one. Happy baby. Boy, babies do this so effortlessly, don't they? When do we stop moving as much as a child? Why do we stop? Oh, have fun. Find your movement and have fun with it. Breathe. All right, send both heels up to the sky. Open up your legs nice and wide. Maybe take your hands to your inner calves. Open up. Maybe take them to your inner thighs. Open up. And then finish. Knees back to the midline. Bend your knees. Soles of your feet come down. Let's do bridge. Soles of your feet on your mat. Arms down by your sides. Lift your hips on up. Wiggle your shoulders closer to your spine. Lift your hips even higher. Don't you feel like you can raise them 10 feet higher when you wiggle your shoulders under your back? Breathe. And then slowly release one vertebra at a time. Think of your spine like a pearl necklace and dropping one pearl down at a time, one vertebra at a time. Keep your belly button tucked to your spine. Once you get down, keep it tucked, keep it tucked, keep it tucked. Your tailbone's way down there still. You got a lot of vertebra down there. And then release your vertebra. And you are done. Take a deep breath in. And a deep breath out. Come into a brief pentacle pose before we do our final Shavasana pose. Arms and legs extended long to all four corners of the room. Just drink in the goodness of the day. Freshness. Deep breath in. And deep breath out. Bring your feet in a little bit more so they're just naturally comfortable. Let your pinky toes fall to the edges of your mat. If you've got that eye shade or towel, eye shades are great. They're weighted, they smell good. The biggest thing is they're weighted, and that feels good in your eye sockets. Cover your eyes with either that or the towel. Arms down by your sides, shoulders away from your ears. In fact, wiggle your shoulders a little closer to your spine like you do for bridge. Wiggle them under there. Fingers are reaching down towards your feet. Arms are away from your body. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Soften the area between your eyebrows because we all hold tension there. Your shoulders are soft. Your hips are soft. There's great mobility in your neck and shoulders today and in your hips thanks to those long Sukhasana poses. Whew. And we did a lot of different things with the shoulders and neck and upper back. Take a breath in and a breath out. Sigh it out your mouth. Empty it all out. You can exhale even more than you think. Keep going. Big full inhale. Big full exhale. Think of nothing but your breath. Think of your breath starting at the tip of your toes. And then as you inhale, the breath just kind of flows over you all the way up through the crown of your head. And then when you exhale, do just the opposite. Be awash in the goodness of your breath. Breathe in, breathe out. Soften in your jaws. Don't let your teeth touch. Just create some space there. If it is time to wrap up your hour, let's do that. If you want to stay longer Enjoy your final Shavasana pose as long as feels right for you. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Start to wiggle your fingers and toes. Turn your neck from left to right. A little bit of a skull massage at the back of your head. That feels good. Start to circle your wrists and your ankles, maybe still turning your head. Bring your head back to stillness at the midline of your body. Reach your arms high overhead. Think almost like stick pose or a big good morning stretch like you do before you get out of bed in the morning. Reach through your fingers, point through your toes, stretch it out. You've got length in your side body now. Remember that deep stretch we took going from side to side in our seated position. Stretch. Be taller. Reach. Exhale, bend your knees and your elbows, roll into a fetal position onto one side or the other. Use your low arms, bicep as a pillow for your head. Breathe in, breathe out, savor the breath. Eyes are closed, top shoulders soft. Life is good. As you're ready, slowly press on up or float on up. Hands or no hands, you make the call. Come on up to a comfortable seated position. Bring your hands to prayer center or onto your knees. Lengthen up through the crown of your head. Take a deep breath in and a deep softening breath out. Blink your eyes open. You did it. You did it. A 1 hour long yoga practice. How do you feel in your shoulders? How do you feel in your hips? You'll see the hips when you get up. But how do your shoulders feel? How does your neck feel? Circle it around. All right, stress number in the beginning. What was it? And what is it now? I'm sure there's a good down dog puppy pose for you. I'm sure you feel a lot better. And that's what this is all about. Whatever you did was good enough. You know that because you tried. And when you try and you give it a little bit of effort, that really pays off. So praise yourself. Good on you. Good enough. That is plenty good enough. What you did today. You tried and you made some effort. I'm proud of you. Come back tomorrow. We'll do it again. And you'll probably be able to do a little bit more. And every day is different. So check us out every single day. Tell your friends about our yoga. We're live every day on Facebook and YouTube. Check us out. Subscribe, like, whatever. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a great day. From all of us to you, love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. Love you guys. Bye. Good girl. You ready to do your yoga?